We are live. We got a special edition this week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the All Sports Matters podcast. I am your host, Amir Sharaz Ortiz. Um, Thank you. Thank you for being here on this fine Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Texas. We went from crappy rain yesterday to a beautiful Saturday. Uh, but not only is it a beautiful Saturday, I'm in a special location today at the VFW Post 3892. I am grateful, thankful for being here today. I'm trying to do big things, have a great show. All Sports Matters podcast at the VFW Post 3892. Thankfully, we got a lot of things lined up today. Hopefully, it won't be long, but I am not alone. We even have the president walking around at the VFW Post 3892. Matter of fact, Sean, perfect timing. I'm gonna bring my brother along. Come have a seat, sir.
Hey.
We got the president here. We got
Post
Mr.
Commander.
Yeah.
Let's go by the right terms here. The post commander, Sean Marsland. Sean Marsland, Flectron Moore, Mr. Moore, Mr.
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
How you doing?
Let's talk. Beautiful day. Beautiful
Yes,
day
it is
outside.
absolutely beautiful. I hope it's just as nice out on the East Coast for the Army Navy game today. Of course, go Army, beat Navy,
Yeah.
and
We're all for it.
we're hoping to have a decent amount of people out here with the different things that are going on already at the post, and it's mostly veteran people using our facilities at the moment. So should be a good day. Should be a really good day here.
So, how long have you been the post commander?
I've been the post commander since June of this year, and then by June of next year, there could be another commander in here.
Is that what you want?
Probably not.
So
So I'll be here as long as they'll let me keep.
So we're officially stating to the public that you're rerunning for post commander next year. Are you making that statement right now?
No, I'm not making that statement right now. But
Not ready yet.
not ready yet.
Not ready.
Yeah.
I'm trying. We got 6 months.
Yep. 6 months.
You have to politic to go. Picket signs. You go out there to public, hand out business cards. Hey, we'll do all that for you if that's what you want.
I'll reach out to you for that for sure.
So
One of the things I definitely reach out through you for is to help other veterans know that the VFW is here to assist them, whether they are combat veterans or not. Everybody needs help at times for different things in life. And some of the things that the VFW and other veteran organizations like us are out there to provide the assistance that veterans need, whether it's navigating the VA or just having somewhere that they know they can get to and have a tranquil environment to get away from things.
A tranquil environment.
Yes.
I haven't heard that word in a while.
That's where I could pull out of my.
It's okay to say you poop shoot.
Yep.
It's okay. Hey, we here at the All Sports Matters, we don't censor ourselves. We
At all.
Since we started this, we don't censor ourselves too much. But beautiful establishment you got here.
Thank you.
Great folks so far that I've met. Talk to us about upcoming events that you have outside of, obviously today is Army Navy, and this is why we're doing it today. Army versus Navy, the 125th
Yes.
Army Navy game. Just want to throw that out there as well.
It should have been a really good historical event for this year, but then the Navy coughed and weren't able to make all the way to the Army Navy game. So
For those of you out there in sports land, that means they lost. They finished 9-3, while the Army
8-3.
8-3, while the Army finished 11-1 winners
yes,
of the American Atlantic Conference, right? AAC. There we go, the AAC. So we just want to make sure we get that out there in sports land. You would think that the
That
way they
means that we
started,
should- yeah.
no, the way that it started, both teams were undefeated, 6-0, 7-0, before Navy lost their first game. The world was excited. I believe this is the first time that the two were ranked in the top 25.
At
Just
the
like
same time, yeah.
some along those lines. So it's crazy in that aspect.
Yep.
With the Army winning a conference championship, you would think they would have got some type of votes in the playoff coming up starting this Friday. By the way, and we'll break down the brackets for the playoffs here shortly. but Army Navy is a big deal. Let's get back on the topic at hand.
All right.
The VFW by the post commander. What do you or this place has coming up in the near future?
Some of the bigger things that we have coming up are our birthday bash. We have one happening in January 18th, and we're going to have a rock and roll band out here called Scratch 3. They're well known here in Central Texas. And then we're going to have there's going to be another one in February. I don't have the particulars on the band, but that's going to be on the 22nd. And then our auxiliary does their biannual Schnitzel dinner, which is something you should come and check out.
Schnitzel dinner.
Yes, and that's going to be this coming March on the 1st. The other one was this past October, which happened to be the same day we did Oktoberfest, and we had a polka band out here, and it was playing German fest music, and we did have an Oktoberfest beer at that time from Temple Brewery. We have other stuff that goes on here throughout the month, to include karaoke, and we're going to be trying to get more live music out here.
Who doesn't love a good karaoke night, right?
Yep. Come out and enjoy it.
No, I've
That's on
heard
Fridays.
you do karaoke before. That's
I
not
know.
good karaoke.
That's not the
That's
same.
not
Yeah.
good.
Karaoke.
I've heard you
Yep.
do, and no, you're
Belgium
not.
was a wonderful time.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
What happened in Belgium stays in Belgium. So just keep track of us on Facebook, especially if you're local here. If you're not local to us, definitely check out your local VFW and go in and support them. Our canteen is a fundraiser. I know what the perceptions have been in the past about VFWs, and some that's still consistent. However, understand that it's a fundraiser. Everything is a fundraiser. So we
So
can help veterans.
explain to the public. I got a sports crowd, right?
Yeah.
I also have a veteran crowd. A lot of veterans I keep in contact with. Explain to the masses what a canteen, other than a cup.
Okay, so the canteen it's a bar, and it's referred to as a canteen rather than a bar, because hang up on that, because it's meant for
I just want to let the public.
socializing.
I just want to let the public know that he hung up on his wife.
Yeah.
So when Cassie sees us later, he should have answered. He should have.
Yeah, she's out with another program that we support. She's out with scouting right now. Scouts are camping out in a local scout camp, and I already had to go out there and rescue them with propane so that they could do dishes.
Nice.
But so the canteen it's a full service bar. Some posts have that. Some posts don't even have a canteen, but they do a lot with their community, so they get the support that way. Again, it's a fundraiser, just like renting out our hall or playing our chance games that we have that raise funds for the VFW department and the local posts. It's a great place to come. You can have birthday parties here. If it's going to be a big one, you can rent our halls. If it's a small one, we can accommodate that as even easier.
Yeah, they got a couple bar stools available if it's a really small birthday party.
Yeah.
You and your one friend can just sit at the bar and have couple beers.
Yep.
Like old times, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
old
old
times. Oh good idea.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been all right. I've been out of the Army since 2018, and I did a couple fun things. I went out to New Mexico, tried the oil field.
Interesting.
I didn't want to end up like they did in Landman.
Great show, by the way.
It is. There's some accuracy.
Some accuracy.
And then I actually had a chance to go back to Germany as a civilian during COVID, the initial issue of COVID. I was already over there when COVID started spreading across the globe. And I ended up going back to where I PCS from. And I was in Wiesbaden. It was an awesome opportunity. And then I came back and started my own business. cable dog, doing the same thing I was doing in the Army and before I joined the Army. So I've been busy with that, and then busy with getting involved with the VFW. I knew it was a calling from the beginning, and it's there's a lot more to it than just walking into the host home and having a beer at the canteen. There's way more behind the scenes, and there's a lot of awesome things that the VFW is doing, along with other veteran organizations as well.
For those that are watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok, we're live on TikTok, by the way. Yeah, that's okay to say that. This is still the All Sports Matters podcast. Okay, we will get to the sports here in a minute, but obviously we're commemorating. It's the right term. The Army Navy game on the 25th edition of the Army Navy game. Today they play in less than an hour's kickoff time. For those that are wondering, and it's also, I believe, the last game of the regular season for the NCAA football. So this is the last game before they go into the bowl season and the college playoffs, which starts.
And the bowl season is actually already started. Yeah, because there's a Jacksonville State and South Carolina State are playing right now in the bowl game.
Yes, and those are not Division III schools. Just want to throw that out there. So college playoffs start Friday. Before we get you on your way, which I'm not kicking you off because I know you're busy, I want a prediction from you on who you believe. I know you don't watch much. You're a busy man, and I understand that. Do you know who's in?
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
Army Navy game?
No. Well, we'll get to that, but the college playoffs.
Oh, I have no clue. I'm not even a sports fan. I am, but no, I don't follow sports.
Again, this is still the All Sports Matters podcast. So we're trying. I'm trying to get you. Who's playing. I'm trying to get you in there. Well, we know who's not playing. That's Alabama. Yep. So I just want to throw that out there to the public. We know. No, that was an uproar to the Alabamians. I don't even know if that's the word. So they roll into what is called the NIT Bowl, and not winning any championship this season. But Army Navy, Army's on a 2-game winning streak. Yep. They won the last 2. The Navy has won the overall. They're up 66-51 or something along those lines. Don't quote me on those numbers. My statistician will pull them up here in a minute. I have my notes, but I left them at home. But it's okay. We still.
Yep.
But the Navy is up 66-50 something. They had like 6 or 7 ties. Do the Army make it 3 games in a row? Or does the Navy have?
If they don't, I'm going to be
62, 55, and 7.
62, 55, and 7. See, there we go. I wasn't that far off. So, are we? Obviously, we say go Navy, go Army, but that's being biased. I don't want a biased opinion. I want an actual. That's who you're going to root for.
Of course, that's who I'm going to root for. Just like I root for the Patriots over everybody else, but.
We are having
we're having technical difficulties. I heard Patriots.
Go Red Sox. I mean,
you're a Celtics fan then.
We are allowing it.
Like you said, no censoring, right?
No,
you're a Celtics fan then, right?
Yeah, no, that's almost got blurted out. Worse than a 4-letter curse word. So we're going with it. We're going with it. You're a New Hampshire guy, right?
Yes, I'm from New Hampshire.
See, I remember. Concord?
Area? Near Concord, yes.
Near. Got it.
Near Concord.
When's the last time?
Everything is near everything in New Hampshire. It's only this big.
It is. Unlike Texas. Texas takes a couple of days to get out of here.
Counties are bigger than New Hampshire. I understand. Yeah. But yeah, I grew up in New Hampshire, and it's been a while since I was home, probably last year. And as a matter of fact, we're driving up there after Christmas. That's gonna be a 36-hour drive.
Sheesh.
Hey, they make these things called airplanes now, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're hosting an exchange student this year again. This one's from Spain. So for her to be able to see a little bit more of the United States other than Bell County and Austin, that it would be a good thing. So
okay, that's understandable then.
she's gonna hate you.
Yeah, she's gonna hate riding in a car for 30.
Nobody
that's
wants to be in a
one way.
car for 36 hours one
one
way.
Not at all.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine driving in Europe for
Who
36
does
hours?
that?
Is
Europe 36 hours? Why?
Yeah, it's 36 hours one way. That's why I'm going up there for more than 4 days.
Interesting. Mr. Moore, Mr. 2.5 belt himself. Topic at hand, I guess, is the Army Navy game. Who do you got winning? Non-biased, of course.
I mean, non-biased and biased. I got Army winning. 11-1. Only loss came to Notre Dame in a rout, but still
That's my
coming off of a conference title win. I mean, I gotta go with Army.
So the panel, granted, there's only 3 of us at the moment, is going with Army. For those of you out there on Facebook or TikTok, even YouTube, comment who you guys got winning. Being here at the VFW obviously is not just Army.
No, it's not. It's not.
Right?
I mean, it's predominantly probably because, we
are-
are next to
we are-
Fort Cavazos, or
Formerly known as.
formerly known as Fort Hood. But we have a lot of people from all different services. We actually have the Marine Corps League meeting here once a month and stuff like that. So the VFW is all services. There is the rare Coastie that'll be a member as well. But
Well, you open that door. You too started your military career
yes,
in
I
the
did
Coast
start
Guard.
my military career in the Coast Guard. 92.
92.
Yeah, 92.
I don't even know. I don't even know if my wife was born in 92. Yeah,
Which
yeah, that was 92 was a long time
yeah,
ago.
it was a lot of
A long time ago.
Yep. You were born.
Very,
then.
very. I wasn't playing Pew Pew Army nowhere, but
no, of course not. But yeah,
I was 13 in 92.
Yeah, I was 22 in
Right.
92.
was I 13 in
You
92?
we're the same age, dude. Yes, you were 13.
I don't really, I'm just
And,
like.
and these guys are adding up the stats.
Look, I am just like anybody else. Once you get to a certain age, you just stop.
You stop counting. After 21, I stopped counting.
It's just another year, that you're on Earth. Another
21
year.
was the
sun
last
rolls around,
significant year for me.
But I just stopped counting. I just don't know. I know I'm in my 40s. I know that for a fact.
I know
think
when my
stopped
birthday
counting
is.
after-
I don't know how old I'll be, but I know when my birthday is.
I think I met you in my 40s.
We met a long time ago, 2005, 2006, 2006, I think it was, right? Yeah. So interesting. You know what? While we're here, let's break down. We're going to jump into. I don't want to waste the audience's time. We got a college playoff. We're going to try to break down. If you got things to do, that's fine. You want to come back down and sit down. Let's see. We'll be right here just for you.
All right.
We have other people that might pop their heads in and out today. A lot going on today at the VFW. We got motorcycle club meetings. We got help me out.
Breeze, which is the Pacific
the Pacific Island rehearsals going on for a Christmas party that they're throwing here tonight. A lot going on at the VFW Post 3892 in Harker Heights, Texas. With that being said, Texas is the 5th seed, right? They got the 5th seed playing number 12.
Yeah.
Since that's the highest seed is playing. No, you're good. Of course.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So
Yeah.
we got Texas playing Clemson, who defeated SMU to join the 12-team playoff.
And still somehow was ranked lower than them. I didn't get that.
Right. So for those of you that are confused, again, I read the rules back and forth, and I'm still confused. The rule was the 5th lowest conference winner automatically got the 12th seed, which I didn't understand.
That don't even make sense.
It doesn't at all. But
I don't because okay, so this is my thing. So what if just by some coincidence, the 5 highest champions are all 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the actual ranking?
no,
You're gonna take number 5 and move them to 12? That don't even make sense to me.
not only are they 12, they don't even get to host a first round game.
Yeah, that's
So exactly. So say Texas won and they're the fifth best, and now they got to go on the road to some. I didn't understand.
You're almost penalizing teams for winning their conference outside of the top four.
But you got teams that won their conference that's not even in the playoffs. That I believe,
like who besides Army?
And that's what I was getting at.
I mean, Army would have almost had to go undefeated to get the at-large.
Right, but only losing to Notre Dame, who is the 6th ranked team, 6th or 7th. That's not necessarily fair in my eyes. Again, every year we go through this, and every year there's always one team that's left out that we think they should have, shouldn't. There's always an argument being made about position battles because we went from 2 to 4 to now 12.
I think they got the 12. I think they got the 12 teams right. I just don't like the order in which some of those teams are ranked. I think they got the right 12 though. I think they got the right 12. I think Alabama should have been out, and that's not me being a hater or whatever. I think Ole Miss should have been out. I think South Carolina should have been out. I think they got the right 12 teams. I just don't like the order in which those 12 teams are necessarily ranked.
So you think it was more strength of schedule, or was the head-to-head match?
No, because if they would have went strength of schedule, then Alabama would have been in over SMU. So I'm not sure how they went about these rankings.
No, I definitely get it. I'm not saying for some reason, this year the Big Ten was ranked as the toughest, biggest, seeing as Oregon was number 1, and Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State. Those are the 4 teams that made it, all ranked in the top 10 in the AP vote. So that's interesting in itself. So, of course, how you doing, sir? You want to have a seat? We're going to take a pause, just a quick pause on the college football rankings. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
You want to tell? We are the All Sports Matters podcast. My name is Amir Ortiz. That is Mr. Flectron Moore. He is currently in Alabama right now. The only team that didn't make the playoffs that everybody's upset about.
Very upset, I'm sure.
This is the mayor of Harker Heights, Mr. Michael Blomquist. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Michael Blomquist. Nice to meet you.
Blomquist.
How you doing?
Hey.
Maybe I thought I was thinking a combination of Bloomberg and something along those lines, but I'll get it right as we go along. Army veteran.
I am 22 years plus.
22 years plus. So before we bring people onto the show, we like to vet our people, and by doing that, we just Google, and the first couple of things that come up, we just go with it. So you came in as private, just like I did, just like we're veterans as well.
I enlisted long ago, back in 1986.
86.
I was 7.
I don't even know if my wife was born then. I'll go with that again. 86. For sports talk, that is the last time the New York Mets won a World Series. I just want to throw that out there. 1986 was the last time the Mets won the World Series. I need them to calm down as they sign Juan Soto to that enormous contract. But we're going to stay on topic, stay focused here. How long after you joined, you went to West Point?
I did. I took the scenic route because as I enlisted, I did a couple years enlisted in the 82nd Airborne Division, went to the prep school, and then from there I got accepted to West Point in 1988 and graduated in 92. So I was there for 4 years, and as you know, this today is the I think it's the
125th
Army Navy game.
Yes, sir.
And Army's a little behind, but they're catching up in the tallies.
61-55, 7 ties. Yes. With that being said, the Army Navy game, that's the reason why we're here today. Did it mean something more? I think I'm answering the question because it's kind of obvious. It meant something more. Was it West Point, or were you focused on the game prior to going to West Point?
Probably more so once I went to the academy. I was aware of it, growing up, but it wasn't something that was near and dear to my heart until I actually was an alum in a West Point.
A West Point, the Black Knights, right? It's still the Black Knights to this day.
Yep.
under 2 years as mayor of Park Heights, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So congratulations, by
Thank
by
you.
the way. Are you from Texas?
I grew up in Houston. I would say I'm from Houston. I wasn't born in Texas, but I was a very young child when I was brought here. But I grew up in Houston, went to school in Houston, and that's where I entered the Army, was in Houston. So I call myself a Texan. Yep.
As you said, my wife was brought here, you know, when she was 4 or 5 from New York, and she claims to be a Texan. We're still working on that, though. But so is the Houston area, that's when it comes to pro teams, is that where?
Yes, I grew up in the Oilers, Houston Oilers. John,
Thank you.
Earl Campbell.
He's a Tennessee Titans fan.
I never
Thank
transitioned.
you.
I never transitioned to the Titans because I was sad that the Oilers left us there, and then once the Texans came, I never really jumped on them. I kind of I don't know, more went back to Dallas, I guess, for a Texas team.
So I got a feeling you're about to say you're a Cowboys fan.
Well, I'm not a super strong Cowboy fan, but I am a Cowboys fan because my Oilers left me.
So I believe the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl was
It is a long time.
A few years after he joined the Army.
obviously this is tongue in cheek, but it was Roger Staubach was also a West Point graduate. 65.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah,
That was
1965.
before I was born too.
Oh, okay. So we got a little history, just there for those that don't know. I believe there was 11 players. Again, I don't have my notes in front of me. There's 11 players from Army Navy that went to the NFL. I think 3 stood out. Nobody stood out as much as Roger Staubach, obviously, quarterback of Dallas Cowboys, 2-time Super Bowl champion. We have one that's currently playing right now. Villanueva was the offensive lineman for the Ravens. Obviously, he took a lot of slack for the whole standing up for the flag, as he should, when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a name that probably doesn't hit much unless you're living in the East Coast, but Phil McConkey was a wide receiver for the New York Giants who won 2 Super Bowls as well in the 80s. So obviously, dreams can be made. Obviously, you still have to fulfill your military service. Going through that, my question to you, as you moved on from graduated, did you graduate as a second lieutenant or did you get promoted?
Everybody graduates from West Point, and then they're commissioned as a second.
Second lieutenant. Okay. I wasn't sure if people got to, like, if they were the head of the class, maybe they came
No,
out.
You're all second lieutenants.
Okay. So what would you get?
And Roger Staubach was Navy.
He was Navy,
He
right?
was Navy,
So he was
Yeah.
a midshipman,
midshipman, and when they graduate, they're ensigns.
the ensign. Yes, the same rank that they get in Star Trek.
Because a Navy captain is like an 06 for a colonel, Army equivalent.
Right.
So it's a little different.
It's a lot. No, it's a lot different. Definitely a lot different.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to establish your timeline here. Obviously, give you, again, for those that are just joining us, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, by the way. Most of our numbers will come from TikTok. This is how social media is these days. So we just try to keep up with the times. We do have a following on YouTube, and this is recorded live, and we are live. This will be recorded and be replayed throughout the week on the All Sports Matters podcast on YouTube. So just so you're not surprised, when won't be surprised. There's nothing special about us. We just like to talk about sports. So we try to keep our conversation sports based and try to tie in real life and try to get back to sports. So back to real life. You graduated second lieutenant. Where did you go after that?
From graduation, I went to Fort Drum, New York. Was my first active duty assignment. But when I graduated, I went to actual flight school prior to
Flight
the Army.
school.
so I was a pilot.
Oh.
I learned how to fly
Nice.
Hueys and Blackhawks.
Nice.
And then so I was at Fort Rucker, Alabama, for a little over a year. Flight school is rather lengthy. Learning how to fly a helicopter is a little more complex than just driving a car.
So it's not just picking up the sticks and just,
No, it's a little bit more involved than that. But my first active duty assignment was at Fort Drum, New York, way upstate New York.
So it's pretty much Canada.
Almost, yes.
Yeah. So we like to say that because we throw Buffalo like away. Like we don't consider them New
Yeah,
York.
that's Canada. That's Canada.
Yeah, like they share a border like the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. So it's like we throw them on that side.
They love
So-
a lot of ice hockey.
Yes, very much so. Sadly to say that they're the best team in New York anyway. So, but as far as regions, we don't claim them in New York. So you say you did 22 years. That's total from the time that you entered in '86, right?
It doesn't count my time at the West Point.
No, that's the pause. You go to school.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm just trying to do the math in my head. What rank did you retire at?
Ended up retiring as lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel, the LTC.
Nice.
Congratulations, by the way. I'm more than positive you had a great, illustrious career. Where did you retire out of?
I retired out of Redstone Arsenal, which is in
Hey,
Alabama.
that's where I did my AIT at.
Okay.
I did my AIT at Redstone in
Redstone.
Huntsville,
Yep.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville,
So you
Rocket
got,
City.
Yep.
so you got a lot of ties to. Were you able to go back to New York after your first duty station? I'm asking for personal reasons.
I've got some friends in Connecticut, so I've gone through there a couple times. Yes,
Not New York.
the city, New York City.
Well, I know that, but we don't claim Connecticut either. We
No.
throw them out there with the New Englanders. You know, same reason Sean Marsland is from New Hampshire. We talk to them, but we don't, because you know that's New England. You know, so and we mentioned New England a lot today. Do you have ties to the New England area?
Just a couple sports teams. I mean, I like some of the teams up there. I was more of for hockey. I kind of like the New Jersey Devils of all.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
But you're a Rangers fan, though.
I
So
am.
what are
But
you talking?
they play in Newark, New Jersey, where I was born and raised. So I don't not like them. I'm a New York Rangers fan,
Yeah.
but I root for the teams that was on the TV when I could. So it was always the Rangers, the Knicks was always there losing my whole freaking life, and Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
They're a good team.
You know, so earlier we discussed, and I'm jumping back and forth, and we'll get back to your career here in a second. Do you have a stake in the college football playoffs?
Other than the Army team, no. I mean, you know, I root for Alabama to Longhorns to Army team. Those are my three teams primarily that I'll focus on.
So how torn was you when Alabama had to play Texas?
That was an interesting game. I've seen that, but back then that game was. I remember correctly, they had somebody get injured pretty early in that game, and it was kind of a letdown that it could have been a much better game. I thought that hadn't occurred in that game.
He went back to the Colt McCoy game when Colt McCoy got hurt.
Yep.
Always believe
Alabama game.
McCoy just didn't want to play because he was focused on an NFL career at that point. That's my take on it. I've always stood on that. So, what year did you retire? I wasn't able to process the math in my head. 2012.
Yep.
So, let's go back 11 years to 9/11. Where were you at that time?
I was here at then Fort Hood, now Fort Cavazos. I was out on West Fort Hood at a range. We were having an organizational day. And I don't know, for those that don't know what Army or military group, organizations do, when they do an organizational day, it's like a fun day for everything. So we
Mandatory fun. That's what we
mandatory
call it.
fun, but it was a fun for us. We were shooting competition at the range, and for some reason there just happened to be a TV there. That's when I don't know how it happened, but they had the TV on. We didn't actually see the first tower get hit, but we saw the second tower get hit.
I feel like everybody else did initially.
Right.
Yeah, because
And
you hear something like that, you don't believe it, and then the second
yeah.
one happened, you're like,
yeah, when the second one happened, everybody was
Right.
like, "That's not an accident."
yeah. So you was here.
Yeah.
So was I. So I'm just trying to tie everything together. Obviously, you enjoyed Bell County.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I bought a house here when I was first stationed here, and being in Texas, I was from Texas, so it was kind of centrally located here. I had brothers all over, families all over, like in Houston.
How many siblings?
I have three brothers.
Three brothers.
Two brothers up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and one brother still in the Houston area, out in Katy area.
Okay.
And so, being here in Central Texas, I was kind of centrally located, so everybody kind of visited me on the holidays and stuff like that. So that was convenient. But I retired back to Texas when I bought my house here. I always kept it here, and the military sends you all around the world. So
Yes.
you never know where you're going to go. But I always kept that house. And I'm going to come back.
And that was probably the best investment you ever did.
It was the best investment.
Especially the way the housing market was. It's getting a little bit better now, but the way it was the last few years after COVID. Kind of lost track. So that was 9/11. Obviously, the world was in shock when that happened. Did you deploy for 9/11 or?
In the time I was with Operational Test Command here, and I ended up deploying during the war on terrorism 2 times over to Afghanistan. So I was over there for 2 different rotations with the units that I was supporting, and so I spent a number of months over both times going overseas.
Those joining us, we are the All Sports Matters podcast. We are still the All Sports Matters podcast. We got a special event today at the VFW 3892 in Harker Heights, Texas. This is the mayor of Harker Heights, Texas, Mr. Michael Blomquist. Just want to make sure I get that right. Now, my Puerto Rican sometimes gets the best of me, so I want to make sure I enunciate correctly when I can. You said you retired in 2016, correct?
2012.
2012. Excuse me. Don't yell at me.
A statistician. I'm sorry.
There you go.
That's our statistician.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Your political career, you started as a councilman.
Correct.
How long from the time did you retire? I'm pretty sure you dabbed your feet in some other endeavors.
I tried.
And then,
Yeah, when I initially retired, I wasn't certain what I wanted to do. When you get out of the military after a career, you're not like immediately typically having to go immediately to work.
so you didn't want to become a commercial pilot?
No, it's a little different being rotary or helicopter pilot.
Right.
There's jobs in that field, but they're much fewer. You could fly for like the forestry service or a police department or oil company or something like that, but that didn't really interest me at the time. But so I tried teaching school a little bit to see if I wanted to be a teacher. That it was there's a special place in heaven for teachers. I'll tell you right now, because I
definitely.
tried teaching school. A little over a year, and it was rewarding when you see the light go on with the kids. But the kids nowadays are just a little bit different than when I grew up as a kid. So
I have a ton of kids, and I feel bad for the teachers. So I make sure that the kids never stay home. They got to go to school. Like, I don't want them at home. So I understand the whole different, like you said. Yeah, I understand that much. So what you said the light turned on.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go right back to that. The light turned on for you in your political career. When?
a couple years after retirement, I got involved in my local community, helping them organize. We had some developments that were trying to go on in our area that wasn't sitting too good for the community. And while it didn't affect me directly, I helped organize it. I'm coming from the military,
You're a man of the
kind of a type A person. I was like, okay, well, I can help organize this and lead it, and I did, and we ended up winning it, and it kind of sparked my interest into helping people out. So that's kind of how I said, well, maybe I'm going to be a councilman. So I ended up, running for office, and did it the old-fashioned way, just walking around, knocking on doors, talking to people.
So how long were you a councilman? You had 2 terms, correct?
2 terms. The terms here in Harker Heights are 3-year terms. You can serve 2 consecutive 3-year terms, and then you're termed out. You have to take a year off. Well, in the end of my 5th year, that's when the mayor position became open, because our former mayor was termed out. So it's basically an open seat. So I decided, well, I'm going to run for mayor. At that point, I had to resign from the council. I was able to stay on the council until the next election cycle, which would have been the start of my 6th year as a council member, to run for mayor. And so, being that I had already run 2 consecutive campaigns, I knew what it entailed as far as to get a team together to help you run for an office. And it's like that anywhere anybody runs for office. They have to get that team together and be able to convey your message and talk to the people.
Obviously, it was a successful team. 5 people ran or
It
wanted
was-
that seat somewhere along those lines?
Yeah, you've done some history. You know that it was 5 people running for that race, and that's kind of unheard of that you have that many people running for office.
Right. That's what stood out to me because I didn't know.
And we have to have
Currently,
you know,
right.
in our community, when you run it in our elections, you have to win with 50% plus 1.
Right.
So it's not like otherwise you have to go to a runoff.
And you won at 56%.
Yeah. So it was kind of a shock to everyone because everybody's telling me, oh, it's going to be a runoff. It's going to be a runoff. Well, that was my plan A was I don't want to have a runoff. I want to win out.
Right.
So that was,
Right.
I had a great team, a lot of support. That's, credit to my team and helping me get that accomplishment.
So today is the 125th edition of the Army-Navy game. I have sitting by my side the mayor of the Harker Heights, Texas. We are currently sitting here at the VFW Post 3892. Real briefly, we'll jump right back into the sports. Do you believe the Army can make it 3 wins in a row?
I am very confident they're going to be able to do it today. They have an awesome team. And Navy had a good team too, but I think Army's definitely just a little bit above them as far as
So close to undefeated season.
yes.
The only loss was, of course, to my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So I take pride in that one.
Yeah, he didn't take pride in that Northern Illinois game, though.
No, we wrote that off. We like it's like a tax write-off. We get one. So we wrote that. We wrote that
Mulligan.
Yeah, that game was. We didn't know what was going
That
on.
one didn't count. That one didn't count.
They was able to beat the better teams, and then the worst team that they played all season beat them. So it's that moniker, as they say, you play to the level of your competition. That's exactly what what happens. Mr. Mayor, you took over in May of last year, so soon it'll be a 2-year anniversary.
Yep.
What plans do you have going forward? Is it a 4-year?
3 years.
3 year.
Yeah. We can run 2 consecutive 3 years. So right now I'm, getting close to, I'm just over the half-year mark or the halfway point for the first term. But right now, I never say never, but I'm looking forward to probably running again for mayor again to continue what I want to see to improve our community and make it a better place for everybody as we live here in Central Texas.
What's the most satisfying part of being a mayor, in your opinion?
Being able to go out and engage with folks and help them and see an outcome that's beneficial to not just them, but also for the city. I love to see win-win situations where everybody comes ahead with the outcome. Those are the best scenarios. Obviously you can't always have a win-win, but at least you can hear people out and make sure that they understand, hey, I'm listening to you. I care about your situation, but this is the way we have to do it, unfortunately, sometimes. So, but those are the best types. I love to be able to, when you can communicate that and you see that they know that you care, take the time to engage with them and make sure we give an outcome that everybody walks away from. Either they understand why you made that decision or it's a win-win, which is the best case.
Do you have any aspirations of going higher?
I'm never going to say never, but
Never say never.
I'm not going to, I'm not one to typically go out and say, hey, I'm going to go out and primary somebody,
Right.
Especially if they're a successful individual. But I could do higher possibly.
So at this time, I will allow for you to address our crowd here, and we have TikTok. We're live here on YouTube and Facebook. Any words that you would like to express?
I'm excited to see this game today because I know Army's going to do an awesome job and get closer to that so we can not only tie up the score for the tallies on the win-loss, but we're going to exceed in the next few years to be able to bring it home and start taking the lead on that.
So tip-off is approximately about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Tip-off time. They will be on TV. Is the last regular season game before the Bowls already started, but before the college playoffs start this coming Friday. The bowl games already started. My statistician let us know that Jacksonville State and Alabama State,
South Carolina State.
South Carolina State already started
And-
the whole season.
And the game is in like an hour and 15 minutes. It starts 2 Central Time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
think-
so. Yeah, we got plenty of time now.
Army's got their bowls on the 28th. So if I remember right.
Which is they're playing in
Louisiana
Is it Louisiana?
Independence Bowl, is it?
Independent Bowl is Shreveport. Yes, that is Shreveport. Yeah, so that's interesting. They had a great season. The Army did. It's just hard to carry that over, considering people graduated to come in and
Oh, yeah.
they're at different levels.
I mean, Army's a very, very quick team, and it's the way the offense they typically run with the option a lot. If they play bigger teams, they have to be, they have to win on quickness, and they do a lot of times when they have a great team, a lot of coordination where you get people that can play the option. When you get into those big grinds with big teams, they can beat down the line and that over time. But for the most part, this year's been an awesome game where they played to their strengths and been able to win.
The frustration levels has definitely been there. First time in very, very long time that the Army and Navy are both ranked in the top 25.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that was 1925 and 1926, somewhere along those lines, that both teams was ranked in the top 25. Anything else you want to address while you have the platform, while you have the time?
Just happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you, sir. It's definitely been a pleasure. Wish you the best of luck.
Yep.
Wish you the best of luck. You still have a little over a year left, and just continue to get better, right? So that's all we strive in life, right? Continue to be better than the next. Quickly, sports before you go. This is the All Sports Matters podcast again. Mayor of New York, who's generally grew up in the Houston area.
Mayor Parker Heights.
Mayor Parker Heights. Man, why that's in New York? Holy crap.
Since your New York hat on.
Yeah, I think so. That's definitely a snafu. I'll probably mess up 3 more times for the record. This is not. We're live. So, sports wise, baseball, you're Rangers or Astros? Astros. I'll ask you, how did you feel about the cheating scandal?
I mean, my impression is they all cheat in some form or fashion. The Astros got caught, so you can't say that they're all not trying to get that edge somehow.
Spoken like a true politician.
Right. That's the first thing that went through my head when he said it.
No,
That was such a political answer.
No, you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. If you're not trying to take a sneak peek at the signs,
They're watching their lips move out there. They're trying to see what
they
they're
just
doing or
went
saying,
way
so.
above.
Let's go with some more recent news for your Astros. You guys just traded Kyle Tucker yesterday to the Cubs.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
You think they're giving up or they're moving on? They might lose Alex Bregman as well to free agency.
There's some give and take on that. There's some positive out of, maybe get better, some new talent in some certain other areas that they're needing some assistance in. But there are some people that are sad to see him go. But I think that
It's a business.
yeah, the team has to look out for the team as a whole. Are they going to make themselves better in certain areas? And that's where I think they're looking for the benefits.
I didn't really understand that trade from the Cubs standpoint. Like, you got Cody Bellinger. You're being redundant.
Here's the issue to both sides, which I didn't understand. I'm glad the Yankees didn't go after Kyle Tucker. Reason being, he's going to be a free agent after the 2025 season.
Right.
So with that being said, the Astros are not going to re-sign him at the amount that Kyle Tucker is going to be coming in at.
Right.
The crazy part about it is we really don't know what the free agent market is, because we went from 425, which is Mike Trout's highest number, to 700 Ohtani, to 765, which is Juan Soto. Like, that's a huge jump. Everybody knows in the NFL, one guy will come in at 60, and this guy will come in at 65. We're talking about 200 and 300 difference. It's insane in baseball. With that being said, we don't know what the market's going to be like for a Kyle Tucker, for Alex Bregman this season.
Well, I'm pretty sure it won't be 765. I'm pretty
not
sure
at
that
all.
won't be their number.
It shouldn't be 400.
It won't be. I don't think it will be.
Mike Trout got 425 because he signed a 14-year contract. That's a little bit different. These guys want $300 million for 5 seasons, and that's just absurd, But again, that's how baseball is. It's a business. we go to keep it moving. We established who's your hockey team?
I would
The
say
Devils.
the Devils are
Actually,
still,
this
still
said-
my favorite.
Was it the colors or was it?
I had a roommate who was from New York, from New Jersey. And so
Okay.
he was like a fanatic. He always bought the sports package, and so we would always watch the Devils.
So it was during the Martin Brodeur days or before that?
Martin Brodeur. Yeah.
It's my definitely my favorite goaltender growing up was Marty Brodeur. So couldn't get away from watching him. I watched all the Devils game, but I was rooting for the Rangers when they had Gretzky, Messier, Brian Leetch, those guys. So that was definitely interesting. Any words for the Cowboys fans because they're suffering right now.
This is one of these. I don't think this is their year. Everybody, they always say this is the year. This is not the year. Cowboys
It hasn't been their year since '96.
reflect, I think, after this one to see what they can do to try to turn it back around. So
A quick question before we move on. Mike McCarthy, head coach, Dallas Cowboys. All the rumors say they will give him one more year. Again, that's rumor. What would you like the coach to be handled? Not throwing any names out there, but do you want him to return for another season, or do you think they should go in another direction?
well, they still have how many games left in the season?
4.
4. So I think a lot is riding on those 4 games. If he is given an option to come back at this point, because if if he loses all 4, I'd definitely say he's probably gone. But if he wins, 50% of those, then
And
he might be given another opportunity.
It's kind of sad that they played the Carolina Panthers this weekend, and for the first time in 3 seasons, the Carolina Panthers are favorites.
Panthers are favorite. Right.
So that's how bad the Cowboys have fallen when the Carolina Panthers are favorites by 2.5 points. By the way, I'm not sure if you're a gambling man or you can say that. You don't have to say that. I'll leave you off the hook. It's okay. But if you were to put money on the Cowboys this
We'll leave
week,
you off the hook, then we're going to come right back to betting.
well, no, I'm just saying, would you pick the Cowboys? I'm choosing my words a little bit better. Put you out there. Would you choose the Cowboys to win this weekend?
I would say I wouldn't say that the Panthers have the edge. I think the Cowboys still have the edge on this game.
They have all the star power. The Carolina, what they got?
They're only favored by 3. They're favored by Carolina's favored by 3.
Oh,
So it's not like it's
that means it's opening up. So,
right.
So
It's not like it's
Panthers are playing a lot better though,
Right.
lot better. So they're not They're not an easy out, and the Cowboys are just finding ways to lose. So that should be interesting.
and they got the over under at 43.5. I'm thinking under.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely picking under on that one. Not that we bet, but I'm picking.
No, not that we bet at all. I don't bet at all.
Mr. Mayor, any last words?
No, I'm happy. Just say go Army, beat Navy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining the All Sports Matters podcast.
Thank you, sir. Nice having you.
Appreciate it. Have an awesome afternoon, and I'll see you on the flip side. sometime.
Yes, sir. That was the mayor of Harker Heights, Texas, Mr. Michael Blomquist, for joining us here at the VFW Post 3892. This is still the All Sports Matters podcast. Thank you for joining us on this fine Saturday. College playoffs start on Friday. We will briefly run down the games. If y'all do not mind, I will give you certain predictions. We don't want to do it on Thursday because we figure, that'll be last minute. Mr. Fleck, Mr. Moore, Mr. Two Belt himself, which first round game do you deem to be the game?
The 8-9 matchup, man. Tennessee, Ohio State. I think that's going to be a good one. That's the one that I'm looking forward to seeing. I think Ohio State comes out on top of that one, but I think it's going to be a good game.
I believe the morale in Columbus is pretty down, losing to Michigan at the last game of the season. the coach is what 0 for 5 in that rivalry, something like 0 for 4, 0 for 5. They didn't look good.
They didn't.
Where
But-
Tennessee is playing well.
Tennessee is one of those, you know what I'm saying, it could go either way type deals. And I think that I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know. I think Ohio State rallies around, especially coming off of that Michigan loss, knowing that this is their chance, with a possible rematch against Oregon coming in the next round. I think Ohio State shows up for that one.
I can see it. I think either team can win. Will they? I'm not sure. Ohio State cannot come out slow.
Right.
Tennessee is.
I agree with that.
It's
I
not
agree.
that team that you want to fall behind on.
Right.
So for Ohio State to win, they're gonna have to match them score for score, possession
Yeah.
for possession. So,
Yeah, if Ohio State comes out slow, then that Tennessee defense it could get scary with the
I
lead
can
because they got those edge rushers led by Pierce that get after the quarterback.
definitely could see that. So you have Ohio State winning on that one.
What's your game? Which game are you looking forward to?
Clemson and Texas. I am. Surprisingly, you would think Notre Dame, but Indiana is such a wild card that I don't. This is more about Indiana than it is about Notre Dame.
If Notre Dame loses that game to Indiana, I will be shocked. Indiana hasn't played anybody all season, and the one game that they did play somebody that was worth a damn, they got the butts beat.
Right.
So I'm not sold on Indiana at all. I think Notre Dame goes in there. I think Notre Dame wins by at least 3 touchdowns against them.
And I'm agreeing with you. I'm hoping Notre Dame can get past Indiana in that regard. So Indiana and Penn State as well. I wasn't really sold on their resume, other than the Big Ten was a little more competitive as a conference anyway. But outside, I'm not really. I think SMU will take care of Penn State.
And I was about to say, I got that one as my upset. I think SMU beats Penn State.
I don't think it's much of an upset.
I mean, ranking-wise.
Seeding-wise, yeah. No, seeding-wise, I totally understand SMU over Penn State. But that's why I'm looking forward to Texas and Clemson because, A, is Quinn Ewers healthy enough to even play? B, Texas struggled towards the end of the season. So which Texas team are we going to see? Where Clemson is somewhat putting it together.
Right.
This particular Clemson team, anyway.
I mean, they took care of business against SMU, but I just don't know if I don't have Clemson beating Texas. I got Texas winning that one. While we're on the subject of Texas, Quinn Ewers, he's in the news this week for possibly coming back instead of going to the NFL and transferring out of Texas because Texas is like, hey, Archie Manning is our quarterback next year, so you come back, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. I guess they're telling them. And
are you buying that rumor that you think for $4 million he will stay in college one more season?
I think he stays, not necessarily for the money. It's to boost his stock because right now, if he comes out, I'm hearing anywhere from a 3rd round to a 5th round grade on him. So if he comes back, has another good season, he could possibly work himself back up into 1st or 2nd round consideration. So
this year, the quarterback class is not as. I'm not sure what next year's is either, but that matters, no?
It does, but I mean, right? How many have you heard his name even being mentioned as one of the top quarterbacks?
At the beginning of the season, yes.
At the beginning of the season, yeah. But at the beginning of the season, we also heard Carson Beck's name, and we haven't heard his name either.
Yeah, Carson Beck. Screw Carson Beck. I just want to throw that out.
Came out last year. If he would have came out last year, I mean, he probably wouldn't have been drafted high, but he would have been a 1st or 2nd round pick.
So seeing that SEC championship game last week, right? You saw how that went. Quinn Ewers getting hurt in that game, and so did Carson Beck. Who starts for Georgia in the second round? Is it Stockton?
It's gonna be Brockmeyer. It's gonna be Brockmeyer. Because Carson Beck, I don't even think he's healthy enough to go. I mean, if he's healthy enough to go, it's gonna be Carson Beck. But I think it's gonna be Brockmeyer as of right now. It's Brockmeyer.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame, and Clemson and Texas, which is interesting because the winner of that game plays Arizona State, which is who would have thunk, right? That's who got the bye. Boise State, that's who got the bye. So it's a little
Boise,
weird.
I understand though. Boise State, I understand, a little bit more so than Arizona State. But I mean, were you gonna put Clemson as the 4 over Arizona State? Because that's the only possible. Because it had to be a conference. I think whenever they get back into that college football committee meeting, I think they're going to scrap that. The 4 highest ranked conference champions get a bye, and I think they're going to probably go to the 4 highest ranked teams get a bye, which kind of penalizes teams that play for a conference championship. You know what I mean? Because in that case, let me lose one game, not make my conference championship, and possibly get a first round bye because I only got the one loss. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you.
I think it would be a mistake if they did the 4 highest ranked teams versus because you're penalizing teams that play in the conference championship. Otherwise,
so it's there's been rumors of saying that the conference championship rewarding is going to go away. In other words, that game only matters for your conference, and it doesn't go towards being the best 12 teams. So we'll see what adjustments the committee makes next season towards that.
So you're saying if a 10-0 Alabama team plays a 10-0 Texas team in the championship, and Bama wins, Texas at 10-1. I mean, Texas at 10-1. What are you saying in that area?
Again, the rumor out there for the NCAA committee, reason being because I think it's more for the conference championship losers than it is for the winners. In other words,
right. That's what I'm saying. In that scenario that I just gave you,
when the loser loses, what if they become a 3-loss team instead of a 2-loss team? So they don't want to punish that team who did well all season, by losing an extra game.
So 10-1 Texas would be actually 10-0 in the committee's eyes, is what you're saying?
Yes, because they lost to the number 1, number 2 team of,
Right.
So,
but then you start playing you start playing a dangerous game with that then too, because
it's already a dangerous game when you only announce 5 conference championship winners as automatically getting in. When you automatically announce 4 byes, this every year is always something. Who wins? Who loses? Who gets in? Now it's like, well, if you got 3 losses, you're not getting in. What if that's the scenario? We don't know what it takes to make the top 12. But the only thing we do know is every year there's always more questions than answers. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So we don't know. So the committee wants to not punish a conference championship losing, loser,
Right.
which is fair, So we'll see how this moves forward. Does it count for the winner but not the loser? That's, I guess, where that's their mindset, their mentality.
So breaking, Marshall opted out of their bowl game. They had
The entire team.
Yeah, they had a max exodus of players after their coach left to go coach. Where did he go coach? I talked about it and I can't remember. He just left to go coach, and I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah,
right now.
no. We literally just talked about this.
We literally were just talking about it. I know the coach that he he went to UNLV, right?
UNLV, the Running Rebels.
The coach that he replaced went to Purdue.
Yes, there we go. Yes, we just talked about that.
Right.
So,
So,
so imagine in
yeah,
that
yeah.
scenario, if UNLV would have beat Boise State in
I'm
that
sorry,
conference.
I'm sorry. The Marshall coach went to Southern Miss. The Marshall he left to go coach Southern Miss.
Yeah, the UNLV coach went to.
Dan Mullen is the one who went to UNLV.
Yes.
That's what we were talking about.
Just for the record, we talk.
all these names mixed up.
Just for the record, we talk a lot of sports, even off screen. Just want to throw that out there. So again, I know you heard a lot of commotion. There's been a lot going on here, and we're still live here on the All Sports Matters podcast. I'm your host, Amir Shahraz Ortiz. I am with my brother, Mr. Fletchon Moore. We are currently at the VFW Post 3892, commemorating the 125th edition of the Army-Navy game. We've had the post commander early on the show open up with us, and we had the mayor of the Harker Heights, Texas, which was, I believe, it was a great segment. If I'm being honest with you, nothing was planned, nothing was written on paper, and it's always fun when you shoot at the head, and that's all we do. We talk about sports because we are the All Sports Matters. I like to call myself Mr. All Sports Matters because. For those that don't watch wrestling, I took that from the greatest wrestler alive, Mr. Max Caster. So I took the mantra, Mr. All Sports Matter. I'll be the bad guy. We'll take it. There's wrestling on tonight, but we're not going to get into that. There's UFC on tonight. There's a lot of sports going on, even though it's a slow day. It's a slow week for basketball because of the Emirates Cup, which is a weird name.
Yeah.
To name.
Yeah,
a lot of teams have vacation days this week unofficially.
That is in-season tournament. I know, man, because yesterday, was it Friday? I was trying to. Yeah, there was nothing on TV worth watching.
So that was intriguing as well. The Hawks versus the Rockets or the Warriors.
Rockets? No, the Warriors lost to the Rockets.
Okay, so yeah, it's the Rockets. Hawks versus.
Well, I mean, it's the Final Four, though, right?
No, that was the Final Four. I thought.
No, the 4 teams go to Vegas.
Oh, okay. So
you go ahead and talk, and I'll pull it up. But 4 teams go.
I know the Hawks beat the Knicks Monday night, so I think they eliminated in that great 8. So I know the Hawks and Rockets are in the Final Four. The other team, Milwaukee.
So it's Milwaukee. And Atlanta. And the Thunder and the Rockets.
Thunder's having a great year, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
If those boys stay healthy, I don't know who will beat them. Of course, health matters when it comes to the playoffs. And speaking of health, I know LeBron James has taken a knee due to his health or due to his foot, allegedly. I'm using the word allegedly because we don't know if he's just taking time off just to take time off, considering a lot is going on in the world, and we're not going to assume anything. But crap happens, so to speak. Let's jump to football. We had an amazing Thursday night game last week to a very boring Thursday night game this past week. I believe the 49ers and the Rams are still kicking field goals today.
The Niners suck.
Yeah, and our brother is not here, our producer. He's at home still. Well, he's at work crying out that the Niners are terrible. I think he has taken a knee just like
Devondre Campbell.
He decided to take a knee, so they're still taking knees because there ain't nobody scoring in San Francisco or Santa Clara, wherever the heck they play at. So that's interesting in itself. But the game of the weekend, we're trying to move the show along. The game of the weekend is Detroit and Buffalo. Buffalo scored 40 points and lost to the Rams last week, and the Rams turned around and scored 12. If that's not a head scratcher, I don't know what is. Talk to me about what is going on with
It's one of the games of the week.
Yeah,
there's two that I really want to see this weekend.
The Eagles and Ravens.
The Eagles and the Steelers.
Steelers. The Ravens got the Giants. Of course, that's why they're on my mind. That's not it.
Yeah, the Eagles and the Steelers
should not be on TV.
And then the Lions and the Bills. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, well, we opened the door to the Lions and the Bills. Let's go there. The Lions squeaked past a victory against Green Bay. last Thursday. I think it's more props to Green Bay for holding their own.
Right.
Detroit look like they still have some holes, but they're winning, which is important. Just like Kansas City, there's a lot of holes, but they win.
Right.
So, with that being said, who do you have? Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills this Sunday.
Well, you know, I am a Bills hater. So I got the Lions. I mean, even if I didn't hate the Bills, I'd still have the Lions. The Lions are playing at home. Dan Campbell has a big set. Doesn't mind going for it on 4th and a mile from his own 3-yard line. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that dude, like, you can't help but to like that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You gotta have big balls to do some of the things he's doing on 4th down with that thing. The confidence that he has in his guys to go out there and get it done, and they're getting it done. I got the Lions winning. I think they slow down Josh Allen as a rusher, which has been the key for Buffalo here lately. Is Josh Allen as a rusher? You know, yes, he's still doing his thing passing, but I mean that's his thing. But him as a rusher is what they need to.
I'm going to pivot just slightly. Josh Allen MVP?
Right now, I think so. If Joe Burrow had this much of a defense, it would be his easily. It would be his easily. It would be Burrow's easily. But that defense has let that Bengals team down. But yeah, right now, I think Josh Allen is the front runner for MVP. As much as it pains me to say that,
Right.
I think it's Josh Allen for MVP right now, as of right now. But it's close because Saquon he still has a say in it.
I blame Jim.
I think it's
stealing,
that award has been
stealing 11 touchdowns from Saquon Barkley.
Right. Yeah, and I think that award has been geared toward the quarterback position anyway.
It hasn't been an running back MVP winner since Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but we opened the door for Joe Burrow, who's playing lights out on the offensive side. Squeaked out a game against the Cowboys because the Cowboys they lost that game, in my opinion. But on the flip side, the Steelers, surprisingly, they look good.
And I will be the first to admit that I was wrong. Because when Russell Wilson came back and Justin Fields was playing as good as he was playing,
yeah, I
was like, that's I was like, hey, that's a big mistake taking taking Justin Fields out of the lineup. But that team has gotten better with Russell Wilson in the lineup. You have to fear the pass more with Russell Wilson now.
No, we've all questioned
Tomlin.
the mindset.
Yeah.
But Mike Tomlin is currently the greatest coach.
Yeah.
And
he
sports.
Still has never had a losing season.
He has not. So I'll give him that much. Don't doubt Mr. Mike Tomlin. And they're doing it without George Pickens, who I believe they say they're injured.
And he's already been ruled out for this
Right.
weekend, so he won't be playing this weekend.
I'm going to go a step further and say they just sent him home because they don't want to
No.
I know he's hurt. I know he's
hurt. They do not need to send him home. They need to get him healthy and get him back on the field.
Not for the season. I'm saying, like, they're sending a message. Like, we're not tolerating what he's doing. I think it's an internal thing. They just sent him home.
Well, no, I don't even think that's the case because Mike Tomlin has called him out in public multiple times. Like, it's not like they're letting him get away with anything.
Right. And that's one thing I enjoy about Mike Tomlin. Yeah. He's definitely
he's calling them out. But I think that they need an engaged Pickens, to make that team more dynamic because that's their receiver. You know what I'm saying? They need an engaged Pickens. And I need him for fantasy purposes.
Who, Pickens?
Yes, Pickens.
Well, I don't know. He's not this week. I'm happy.
We don't need him this week because he's not playing this week.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy he's not in.
I need him. I wish he was playing this week.
You know sports more than I do.
Oh, by all means, have a seat, sir.
Yeah, well,
have a seat.
I know some sports.
Have a seat. Introduce yourself to the public. Before you do that, we are the All Sports Matters podcast. Again, we are emanating from the VFW Post 3892. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, by the way. Introduce yourself.
Name's David Smith.
David
How you
Smith.
doing, sir?
David Smith.
Are you from Texas?
I'm from Texas.
Born and raised, you're in
Born and raised
Texas?
in Lubbock, Texas. Yes.
Uh,
Retired
Cal-
right here at Fort Hood.
Cowboys fan?
Yes, I am.
I gotta ask
Is
that
there
way
any-
because
is there
I
any other
don't.
fan?
Well, I would like to start off by saying I'm sorry. I get it. Look, I totally get it. It's hard times out there.
There it is.
It's hard times for Cowboys fans.
But we didn't hear from y'all for 3 years. You know, we was 12-5. So
It was 5 years in a row, 3 years in a row, top 5.
That's right.
So the question I'll ask you, the same
And
question
it's
I asked
still been
the mayor.
30 years since y'all sniffed the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of teams. It's been 30 years.
So I'll ask you the same question I asked the mayor earlier. Mike McCarthy, bring him back or should he go?
Bring him back.
Bring him back. Now, not long term. Or again, this is the organization that let Mr. Garrett go off and clap for 10 years.
Let's give him one more year. Give him one more year.
So his
I'd
contract
say-
contract is up. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I'm
One
asking.
more year. He was 12-5, 3 years in a row. So,
Right.
How do you feel about Mr. Jerry Jones?
See that?
Do you think he should sell the team?
We have to. This
Yes, he should. I think he should get all the way out of football. And
I'm 100% with you on that one.
do his thing on the side.
I'm 100% with you on that one.
Yeah.
we've been joined by more than one guest. Look who
Tito!
decided in there. But we'll get to
Tito!
this field kicker team here in a second. We want to give all the time in the world to Mr. David Smith, who has graced us with his presence here on the All Sports Matters podcast. Again, we are live at the VFW Post 3892 in Harker Heights, Texas. So the Cowboys is your favorite team. We don't only do not talk about just football. Are you a Rangers and Astros and baseball? Are you basketball, Mavericks and Spurs? Where you're at with these sports?
No, not necessarily. In basketball, I'm with the Lakers.
With the Lakers, you Showtime.
Man, you just punishing yourself this year, huh?
Well, this year, yeah, it's an ugly year. I told you that when I said that. It's an ugly year
So-
this year. It's an ugly year.
But you know, a lot of
We got a lot of glory though. So hey,
a lot of the I don't like to use the term older folks. Obviously, it's either Michael Jordan and the Bulls, it's Showtime and the Lakers, it's Larry Bird and the Celtics. Those are the guys that brought the fans to the games. Were you a Lakers fan before the Showtime?
yes, Laker fan way back.
So you were with Chamberlain and
all the way back.
Okay.
Michael Cooper and all them.
Well, Cooper was Showtime Lakers.
Well, yeah, it was Showtime
Yeah.
before we got with Magic Johnson.
Right,
and all
right,
that.
right,
Yeah,
right.
before then.
Nice. Follow baseball at all?
No.
No baseball fan. So just football, basketball.
Football, basketball.
Football, basketball. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. A lot of people don't like baseball because they don't. The pace of the game,
It's
I
too
guess,
slow.
it's too slow. I hear it all the time. And unless you play like I have, I played baseball my whole life, so that's what made me a
played
a
baseball.
fan. So
Baseball. But I
This-
just don't enjoy the game.
this weekend, I'll ask you again the same question I asked the mayor. For the first time in 33 games, the Carolina Panthers are favorites to beat anybody. It just so happens that this weekend or tomorrow is the Dallas Cowboys. How do you feel about that?
Won't happen. Won't happen.
Oh,
We're coming out with a win, Mark.
that's what y'all say every week, though.
But that's okay.
That's
okay.
it's like for Cowboys fans, like a fortune cookie. You open a fortune cookie and it says Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. That's like your fortune cookie. I'm not understanding the mindset. Like, let's be real. You guys are not good.
That's true. We're not this year. We're not good.
You guys got a lot of questions, more questions than answers. Micah Parsons is disgusted by the Cowboys team, but obviously he's playing in it. We're not. Do you predict that he resigns with the Cowboys?
No.
You think Micah Parsons walk?
I don't think so. Right now, it's up in there. But Michael Parsons, he's part of the problem too. He's on the defense, right? Did he have a sack? No.
Yeah, but you can't measure his impact by sacks alone. Like, dude was getting tripled and double teamed and held. Like, I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. but I like Parsons. And he was getting triple, double team, held the entire game. The entire game.
Well,
So the problem is there's nobody opposite. The problem is there's nobody opposite him to take the pressure off of him.
Step up. He don't. We missing Lawrence on the other corner, and hey, defense. Diggs in the back. We ought to get rid of him. We ought to get rid of Bland. And all the other two little rookies they got back there. We ought to get rid of them.
What happened to your light, man? It got dark over there.
No,
They shut the door.
They shut the
Oh,
door,
okay.
and I'm about to tell the post commander to shed some light, literally, on us.
You know what I'm saying? Got a little
what
dark
was-
over there.
Hey, Mr. Post Commander, it's kind of dark over here.
Here you shut him.
Can I get some light over here,
Turn
Mr.
the
Post
light on.
Commander? Now, the richest contract in NFL history was signed this year by your quarterback. What was your initial reaction?
He shouldn't have got paid. Jerry Jones.
Oh wow, you didn't like that getting paid?
No, didn't like that. I don't think he's that worth that much money.
Yeah, I don't think any of us thought that either. I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah, now stats wise, he's up there with the top. But hey, playing football, nah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of him getting paid that much. He should have got paid, but not like that.
Nah, he ain't
We
showing
got to
me
adjust
nothing
these
yet.
settings here. We just had some light shed up on us. But that's your quarterback. That's who you defend as your regardless of contract. Did you want him to resign with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't have any issues with Dak Prescott. When he came out of Mississippi State, he got hurt that last year. I was one that was advocating he could fall to the Giants, and the Giants just passed. And there was that time where they struggled at quarterback.
But we don't want him in the same division, no way.
Well, nobody knew who Dak Prescott really was, NFL-wise anyway.
Yeah.
So I was advocating for Dak Prescott. And the moment the Cowboys took him, I was like, nah, I don't like him anymore.
Hey, your lighting is still messed up.
Yeah, we probably have to move this like here is off. I might have to slide over a little bit, but that's fine. Talk to me, sir, before we move on.
You college?
have college?
About the college playoffs?
I follow Texas and
Are you Longhorns?
Yeah, Longhorns.
Okay.
And
They play next weekend against Clemson in the first round.
right.
Where do you there's controversy with your quarterback? Is Quinn Ewers the guy? Is he not the guy? You got Arch Manning waiting. You got a Manning waiting in Texas. How do you feel about that situation in Texas? Can they win?
Well, I see the coach. He's going to go with the senior. But I like Manning. Manning showed us he can play the position. So,
Definitely interested, Mrs. So, any questions? Any other questions you got over there, Mr. Moore?
Who do you got winning the whole thing?
College playoffs. Think Texas got enough to pull it out?
Do you think? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you think Texas can win it all? If not, who do you got?
not the way they played last week. Georgia. I think Georgia pulled it off.
You like Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia has their own quarterback issue right now. You know, their starter is his status is up in the air.
Right.
So
But yeah, but I think Georgia will do it if Texas don't pull it out.
I don't know. I like Oregon. I don't know why. I like Oregon. I think they're the most complete team.
Yeah.
Well, we are having a blast here at the VFW Post 3892 in Harker Heights, Texas. I appreciate you joining us.
Not a problem, man.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Not a problem. You too.
I get
Y'all
over there.
enjoy, man.
I'm gonna buy you a beer myself.
Okay, well, thank you.
I'm gonna slide over here and get some little more light.
Hey, oh no, you don't.
There's I'm literally under a light here. I'm trying. They're trying to change the VFW from daytime meetings to nighttime partying, even though it was only 124. Again, this is the All Sports Matters podcast. I am your host, Amir Sharaz Ortiz. We are live, Facebook,
Where did
YouTube,
Mr. Afro himself go?
and on TikTok. He went to go grab a beer. He'll be right back. And trust me, we plan on questioning him about some decisions that the 49ers may or may not have to make going forward. We've had over 2,000 views today on the TikTok. That's the so I for one hope that Mr. Trump does not ban the TikTok here in a few weeks after the new year anyway. So we'll see how that goes. And outside of the mayor, that's about as political we go get. But we're happy to be here at the VFW 3892 this weekend. The Dolphins got the Texans. I think that's an interesting matchup. The Texans haven't been looking Texan-like, if that makes sense. Who do you got? Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, and what is it going to take to win a game like this?
Excuse me, hold up. Acid reflux. I got. So you got the 6-7 Dolphins against the 8-5 Texans. I think the Texans, they need that game. The Colts are right back on their heels for the division. So they're only 2 games back right now. I got the Texans winning that game. They need it. They need a bounce back. They got all of their main guys now are healthy. Got Mixon healthy. You got Nico Collins is healthy. Tank Dell is healthy. I mean, the only one that they're missing is Stephon Diggs, which I didn't understand the signing in off season for him anyway. But
why not?
Because I think they had enough at the receiver position without him.
But these guys stayed hurt, right? Nico Collins, Tank Dell. They were injured last year.
This year, yeah.
I was talking about last year when they signed Stephon Diggs. They went from a season where they looked pretty good in spite of the injuries. And
no. This year they were hurt a lot. Last year they pretty much. I mean, outside of Tank Dell missing a few games, they were healthy. I didn't understand the need to go get Stephon Diggs. Mixon, I was like, okay, that's a great signing because that's
we didn't
what
know Mixon was going to show out like this, though, if we're being honest.
Well, but they needed to get a running back because Damian Pierce wasn't that guy.
No,
They needed to go get a running back.
Right, no, we all agree on that one.
And for them to go get Mixon, it was like, okay, yeah, that's a good signing for them. I understood that one. Diggs, I thought that was kind of a luxury at the time. A luxury signing at the time.
Are we concerned about Stephon Diggs? Not sorry.
What do you mean?
CJ Stroud.
Oh,
sure.
Are we concerned? What do you mean? Are we concerned?
He hasn't been CJ Strouding.
I mean, we often see quarterbacks have sophomore slumps and then come back their third year.
Third year, isn't it?
No, this is the second year.
This is the sophomore slump. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he beat the sophomore slump.
No. Last year he was a rookie. Him and Bryce Young went 1-2.
Yeah.
Right. But no. I think he'll be all right. He's having a sophomore slump this year. Definitely, he's not playing as good. I think another thing is, we had such high expectations based off the way he played as a rookie. So there was kind of, what I'm saying, that let down that had to be there anyway.
Totally agree. We got on board with us live and in person, Mr. Tito! AKA Mr. Tito himself, AKA his team only kicks field goals now. Talk to me what the atrocity that is the San Francisco 49ers. Who's in last place, by the way?
Yes.
Last place, San Francisco 49ers. Talk to me about this last place team.
I'm gonna try to make it quick and simple. I'm just waiting on next season.
What do you think is the issue? What's the problem?
I'm not gonna lie. I cannot, outside of injuries, I want to say relying too much on one person, but once again, we have so many injuries. We lost IU, we lost CMC.
Who's the one person that you think that they were relying on, though?
Well, we all know they relied on CMC.
Yeah, but Jordan Mason did a good job of filling in for him.
He did. He didn't do it.
And then Eddie Guerrero's son did a good job of filling in for Mason.
He's doing all right too.
Guerrero did. I think they're overusing their running backs. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, that
having 3,
All right.
And then they got a diva at receiver that says, "Get me the ball." That's why I'm struggling. And then he proceeds to drop every pass thrown to him.
So
So they're starting to do what I think Buffalo did with Stephon Diggs. They're starting to try to force feed Debo.
I don't want to blame the injuries because that team literally had the next man up mentality.
Right.
They're that good that the next man up can take. Pearsall had a very great game. It was only Pearsall out there. Juwan Jennings was hurt. Ayuk got hurt.
The next man up got them Brock Purdy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like,
So I'm not understanding I'm not blaming on the injuries because, like you said, CMC got hurt. Mason stepped up great. Then he got hurt. And then Garendo, and even though his foot was hurt, he still got 80-something yards.
right.
So I'm not. The injury bug is
My like I said, I think with me, I think they're trying to force feed Debo. They're trying to force feed Debo, and it's throwing that whole offense off.
Since we're on the subject.
Is that fair to say?
Does Debo even come back?
Debo.
Well, I mean, he's still under contract, so yeah, he'll be back.
Come back, but
Well, on all season, he's getting traded. He's getting traded. It didn't happen.
I don't see.
I don't think he's gonna get traded now.
Yeah, I don't see him being traded.
He catches that ball.
We win.
He catches that ball, it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
We win.
But that's my thing. You're in the media complaining, saying, "Hey, I'm struggling because I'm not getting the ball." But then when we get you the ball, you're dropping it.
Hence why they paid Brandon Ayuk and drafted his replacement. So say.
So do you think Debo's gone then?
Huh?
So do you think Debo's gone then?
I don't think he's gone, but I think the door is open if he wants to leave.
Well, I mean, y'all about to have to pay Brock Purdy, so things about to get tight in San Francisco.
And that it is.
Somebody's gonna be on the way out. Definitely.
Right.
And we just signed a youth. And if we had to go between the two, I think DB will be the odd man out.
What's his worth though? What do you think his worth is? Like as far as do you think you could get?
I will answer that question.
Third round pick for him.
Gonna say second.
You know what?
I don't. Not the way he's been playing here lately. I don't see it.
If we going by the season prior, I don't see it first. I give it a second.
That should be interesting. There's a lot of wide receivers that's going to hit the market sooner than later. Mr. T. Higgins, who's for some reason Burrow doesn't want to throw him the ball. It's just him and Chase just play all day long. But Higgins is like, hello, I'm open too. And Higgins was open a lot. I mean, he just looks at Burrow, he looks at Chase. So since they better go all defenses all season. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I agree on that one. T. Higgins, though, I am interested to see where he goes. That is gonna be real fun to see.
I want him in KC.
Ooh, but they got Rice.
That's fine. Him and Rice. Hollywood is only a year. He's gone after the season. He ain't played at all. Hopkins, I think, is a free agent after the season anyway. So they got nobody on the contract. That's what I'm saying. So why not? Oh, Worthy. They got Worthy. Worthy, Rice, and T. Higgins. That'll make a 3-good-man team.
Worthy don't see
Kansas City ain't got the money.
second ball catcher.
Kansas City don't have the money to go.
They will
out
find the money.
$25 million, which I think is the number it's going to take to sign him.
Patrick Mahomes to reconstruct his contract.
He's already done that.
Yeah, he's done it a bunch of times. He has.
He's going to be playing for free here before long.
No, all they doing is just giving the money up front.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You can only restructure it so many times, is what I'm saying. You've already given him this chunk up far. You've re-signed him to make his number lower. Like, he's done a lot to add money to the cap. I don't know how much more he can do.
We're going to try to move on here. We still have a few minutes before the Army-Navy kickoff. Sunday night, tomorrow night, Packers-Seahawks. Seahawks look like they have, I'm not saying a hold on the division because the Rams ain't going nowhere, but Seahawks are looking a little bit better last few weeks.
And they'll be without
And they're
Kenneth
playing
Walker
against the
again.
Green Bay Packers.
They'll be
the
without
9-4.
Kenneth Walker again.
Yeah, Packers, Seahawks, who you got winning that game?
I got the Packers. I think they gotta win to keep up with Minnesota and Detroit in their division. I got them winning. It's gonna be a close one though. I need I got the Packers. I don't know. I think they win. Where are they playing?
Fantasy talking about what he needed. We ain't asking what he needed.
I don't need anything out of that. I got a buy in the league that I got Packers, so I don't need anything out of that one.
Hey, I got that same buy with you though, my guy.
Right. So I don't need anything out of that one. They're playing in Seattle, so
I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle is sneakingly good on defense.
Jackson
Believe it or
Smith
not.
and Jigba has stepped up like tremendous these last few weeks. Like he's overtaken Lockett as number 2 over there. And while they got
I
Metcalf,
would argue that he's overtaking DK. DK is number 1.
well, I think it's more the defense that's taking away Metcalf. It's not Metcalf's
Right.
skill set,
Right.
but
Right.
I like my hat. Somebody
You
trying
like the dark too, because it got dark all over.
Yeah, I
all
know.
over.
Yeah, no, the door, they closed the door, and that's where all the light was coming. We can find a way to prop that open somehow. But again, we're not taking much of your time. This is the All Sports Matters podcast emanating from the VFW Post 3892. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and thank you for the over 2,000 views that I got on TikTok today. It may not mean much, but it means much to me. Monday night, we got 2 games that I believe are atrocious. First off, why the heck do we get 2 games on Monday night? And 2, why the Raiders? Why the Raiders and Falcons? And I can understand the Bears and Vikings. That's more of a in-division rivalry. I kind of understand that one. But Kirk Cousins, every game has been played like he's on prime time. I'm not understanding what's going on with Atlanta.
So maybe he'll actually play good in prime time.
Can we briefly discuss what is going on with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta? Atlanta was supposed to be.
I have no clue. That was a mystery. Like Kirk Cousins just forgot how to play quarterback the last 3 or 4 games.
He come in acting like he a rookie on the team.
But there's weapons. Kyle Pitts ain't seen the ball in 2 games.
Yeah, Drake London ain't really been doing much.
I'm not understanding. You got Darnell Mooney who stepped up. You got Rashawn McLeod, who's I'm not understanding.
Mooney.
Yeah, they got the personnel. Bijan Robinson is actually looking like a running back and putting up numbers.
Yeah.
What is going on in Atlanta that's keeping Atlanta from being great?
Well, we know it's the quarterback, so let's say mental breakdown, bad decision making when it comes to passing the ball, things like that.
So, do you turn to a Michael Penix this late in the season?
You paid that man
No.
way too much money. Don't
Yeah.
let Kirk Cousins finish the season.
No,
You gotta ride, yeah, you gotta. I think if Penix was ready, he would have already been playing. I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if they think he's ready.
But he
Because
can't.
if he was already ready, Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown in like 3-4 games.
That's what I'm saying. Kirk Cousins ain't ready. So why wouldn't you?
That's what I'm saying though. If they felt like the rookie was ready, he would be playing.
Well, either way. So you mentioned earlier the game that you're looking forward to is the Pennsylvania battle of Philly and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think it's one of the two. I want to see that Bills and Lions game also, but I think 1A and 1B.
More than one good game on a 3 o'clock schedule. So both of those games are
Right.
played at 3 o'clock.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting coming.
So I think 1A and 1B, those are 2 good games.
You got the Steelers beating the Eagles, or the Eagles coming out of that game?
I got the Eagles winning that one. I think their defense has been playing pretty good here lately. Their offense, their passing game particularly hasn't been what it should be, but I think they addressed that this week.
Does the drama in Philadelphia that happened this week?
Yeah, I think they addressed that though this week.
So, for those of you that don't know, AJ Brown was complaining about the passing game. without saying Jalen Hurts, but obviously, who else are going to talk about? We're talking about the
I
passing game.
think Brandon Graham made that more than what I think he blew that up more than it should have been.
Well, again,
Because as a receiver, yes, you want the ball as a receiver. You're supposed to say that. As a receiver, he didn't specifically throw Jalen Hurts under the bus. He said he needed to get the ball more. Yes,
but that's what started the demise of Keyshawn Johnson too. So what?
I didn't understand why Brandon Graham opened his mouth to say what he said.
He's defending Jalen Hurts. Maybe I don't really.
Yeah, but he brought more attention to it than yes, nobody was really checking, you know what I'm saying, for when AJ Brown said he needed. Nobody wasn't really checking. But once Brandon Graham said what he said, that's when everybody started focusing on it then. So I think he brought more negative connotations to it than anything.
Who you got? Eagles, Steelers.
It depends. If Barkley goes off, I say that
he goes off every week.
Yeah, but this is the Steelers defense. If he can go off against that Steelers defense, then I'm gonna go with Philly. And I think he can. So I'm gonna go with Philly on this one.
I was about to say that was a cop out.
Russell Wilson.
That's a political answer.
Russell Wilson puts up a good fight, but overall I think Philly will come out with it. It'll be on Saquon Barkley rushing.
Saquon. Stop adding letters to names. That's my job.
Shaquilla, what's his name again? Shaquilla Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, who is maybe a front runner for MVP.
Yeah,
that's not as bad as Giannis.
If Barkley gets MVP, he brings value back to the running back in the NFL.
Giannis in Milwaukee is looking good lately.
He said Giannis.
Not as bad as Giannis.
Just want to throw that out there. Giannis in Milwaukee is definitely playing a lot better lately. So let's not hate on Giannis.
I'm not hating on Giannis.
Either way, we're wrapping up here. There's a lot going on. We have the VFW Post 3892. I'm watching the post commander walking around with a little wagon. He's always on the move. He's always working. Always working. Anything else to look forward to this weekend?
Saturday night main event for the wrestling fans.
And UFC Fight Night, Colby Covington. People hate him. People love him. Reason being, he's one of the main Trump fans in UFC. And so, yeah. So I would say
the Heisman is announced tonight, right?
I thought it was next week.
Is it next week? You might be right. They're in New York right now, though, right? So they don't normally go to New York a week before, right?
Well, I don't know. The schedule is a little bit different this year with the playoffs. We haven't played the playoffs this early, so I don't know.
I'm about to. No, it's tonight. It
is tonight.
Yeah.
We find out if it's Travis Hunter or
14th, right? Tonight's the 14th. Yeah, it's tonight.
Okay. We find out who you got winning the Heisman.
I think Travis Hunter wins the Heisman, but you already know how I feel about
Genty.
Yeah,
I like the kid. The more I've seen him, I'm rooting for Genty, if I'm being honest. But I think Hunter wins it as well.
Yeah, I think Hunter wins it.
Oh, one more game. That's intriguing. And it's another 3:00 game. Wow, 3:00 is loaded. Buccaneers and Chargers. That's both teams are playoff contenders. So don't make that face. Both teams are going to the playoffs. No, this one.
Oh.
I'm trying to go between who? If I got to pick
Buccaneers and Chargers. Both teams are in position to make the playoffs.
I like that Chargers team. Their defense has really stepped up.
Baker Mayfield is going to be third in the MVP voting. That's my opinion.
I think the Chargers win that game, though.
But is it going to be because of the defense?
Is it? Well, I mean, Baker's been turnover prone here lately.
I got Tampa Bay.
Mike
Evans is only getting healthier.
I got the Chargers.
For some reason,
their defense has really been playing at an elite level. The Chargers, their defense has
Right.
really been playing at an elite level. So I got the Chargers winning now.
What Buccaneers defense doing?
They're still
They've
winning.
been garbage.
They're still winning.
Are they stopping anybody?
I don't know.
They've been garbage.
Huh?
They've been garbage.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of right there. And Harbaugh got LA playing like an actual team. Their defense is stout, and their offense is all right. They lost Dobbins. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to roll with the Chargers myself. And that high-scoring defense at that.
I'm on the flip side. I'm like what Baker Mayfield is doing right now. He's stepping up to the good teams. He's playing down to the level of the bad teams. That's his fault. But I am thoroughly enjoying what they're doing. They're getting healthier. They're getting better. Jalen McMillan has stepped up. They're making a wide receiver out of Sterling Shepard. We've never said that his whole career. So Sterling Shepard is playing very well.
Not even with the Giants?
No, not at all.
Not even a
The
little?
Heisman is being announced tonight at 7 for those that want to tune in to that.
So I got the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers got an easy schedule the rest of the way. Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. So we got the Saints playing a new quarterback this weekend. So we'll see where level of sassiness he comes in at. I don't know if y'all seen the pictures that I did. We're not
Zesty.
assuming anything,
Zesty.
but they should have made a different picture.
Did you see the picture, Tito?
Is it the one with the dude with the
Yeah.
Show Tito the picture.
Oh yeah, he's sassy. He's dusty. He's sassy. But hey, we wish him the best. We're not haters over here on the All Sports Matters.
Because he was going to throw a touchdown.
We are tuning up the band as the Army-Navy game is about to kick off in T-minus 14 minutes. A lot is going on this weekend. NFL all weekend. College today, tonight. Heisman tonight. UFC tonight. WWE tonight. Basketball is picking up regular schedule tomorrow. So they're back after the Emirates Cup happened all week. You already mentioned the Final Four in the Emirates Cup. Bucks versus
Hawk.
Atlanta Hawks. And the Oklahoma City Thunder is playing
The
the
Rocket.
Houston Rockets. So that's good. That's intriguing. The in-season championship. That's what
And
that is.
those games are tonight.
So those games are tonight. Full schedule tomorrow. Regular schedule, not full schedule. Regular schedule basketball tomorrow. For those of you that are out there on Facebook, YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Those that are on the TikTok land, thank you again. While we are here live at the VFW Post 3892, follow Mr. All Sports Matters for a different perspective on sports and breaking news. That's been my mantra since I started this process. Thank you, everybody out there, and we'll be back on Thursday for a regular edition of the All Sports Matters with the chef, with the producer JB. We are here live with Mr. Tito, who's been a brother to us as well, to VFW 3892, the post commander, Sean Marsden. Thank you for allowing us to do this show. Mr. Moore, any last words?
No. The Army Navy game, they got 19 wins between them. That's the most wins that those two teams have had combined.
In one season.
Yeah, in 120, and this is their 125th meeting. The 19 wins are the most. That's a wild number.
It's definitely been intriguing. Thank you guys for joining. As our producer JB says, most people love baseball, basketball, even golf. Here, all sports matter.
Peace out.